And we live. Salute, what's good? Y'all already know what type of time I'm on. Two hands, one. Let me stop. Take off your shoes. Relax yourself. We gonna get into it. RP to Chino XL. All right. Some people might not be too familiar with who Chino XL is. All right. But if you did your Googles, you would see dude was one on ones. Like he could rap all that shit. For a lot of people, people knew him with his beef connected to the Tupac situation. Because to be honest, a lot of the rumors about the incarceration of Tupac Shakur actually stem from and come from the beef and the situation with Chino XL. That's just what it come from. But that's not even really what we're gonna get into a whole lot today. I'm a RIP to homie. For those that are familiar with his work, and some of those epic freestyles that he did back in the day. He had some epic ones. We gonna play one or two, and then we'll talk about all that shit going on with math because I think like math, you should just leave the situation alone. You can't do this shit before we move on. You can't participate in the bullshit on YouTube and approach it with any type of, how can I say this? It is hard to compete in that game and try to have morals. You're not gonna win. Yeah, leave your morals offline. And you can't expect for, well, you don't have to generally, but you can't expect for the motherfuckers that you going against to have any fucking morals. Like, I don't know what the fuck you doing, man. I don't know what you doing. I don't know what you expected. Like, you must ain't been really paying attention to the way this shit work. You either gonna play or you not gonna play. But anyway, get into this. Play one song from Chino XL, then the freestyle. It's really not two. It's really one. But for those that don't know, this is a little introduction. You might want to go do your Googles. You might like some of the shit that he do. You might be a Pac fan. You might don't like him, but it doesn't take away from the talent that he was. And Pac wasn't the only person he was beefing with. He had the situation with Mobb Deep, so on and so on. Which really a lot of people don't know or don't remember. Because a lot of people might have been around for it, but just don't remember. Um, Other people was involved in that because he ended up saying what he said about Pac on a track that Razkaz and Exhibit was on, but Exhibit and Pac had their thing too. People don't remember that. That's some hip hop history for your ass. People don't remember that. And part of that is because Pac didn't say everybody's name. He only said the people named who he actually felt like was some type of competition. For those that don't know, like they keep it all the way filthy, keep it all the way a dollar. Mob Deep originally never really said nothing about it. It was Capone and Noriega. Mob Deep just happened to be on the song. But them other little niggas, when he say those other little niggas from New York, he talking about Capone and Noriega. When he say those other little niggas. But anyway, let's play this Chino XL track and then we play the intro and then we be back with the other bullshit, all that. You know what I mean? For those that don't know, might not be familiar with homie. And there's gonna be a lot of people. I want to say this before. It's gonna be a lot of people that don't even know who the fuck Chino XL was, know about the music, any of that. That's gonna do shows. That's gonna talk about it because it's kind of sort of like get the fuck about it. Anyway, RIP to homie. He was 50. I'm not gonna get into what happened or the cause of that. That ain't none of my business. That's what the people who do the news is for. talk about hip hop. And he was a damn good lyricist. I mean, for his time period. Like some shit you had to be there for. Even when I play this, like if people can't hear that he was nice, even in this environment, I don't know what to tell you. It might be dated, but you can still hear that dude was job nice. You know what I'm saying?
So let's keep it real.
That is what it is. He was nice.
Fuck out my face is your best bet. Your career is George Burns, I can't believe you ain't dead yet. I show my blind rage. The Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles wrestling in a steel cage. Yo, this nigga's crazy. I got an artist losing their limelight like Mike Bivens. Bitches flipping their wigs like Faith Evans. Reject my single, I ain't mad at it. Like OJ getting married again, I takes another stab at it. I'm tearing you out the frame like wedding pictures after divorce. Petro like you dropped us over the shower, Luther Vandross. I'm porno like ads from Calvin Klein, believe me. You ain't no rapper, you just play one on the fucking TV. You on the road, you go and go, that's what your label shouting. You couldn't outsell UTFO's reunion album. What could I say to get my point across? Rap don't need that ass like Large Professor, don't need main source.
Salute to Mo Better in the building. Salute Mo Better. I'm getting into this epic freestyle he did on the radio station. You know, the only thing that I didn't like about this freestyle was the radio host in the background D-riding. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you can celebrate the look. Oh, this dude, you can do all that. But when you D-ride, like, sit your dumb ass down. What the fuck are you doing? That's the only part about the freestyle I didn't like. Didn't really have nothing to do with him. And he kind of the catalyst towards some shit during the DVD times and shit. A lot of that footage is really hard to find, even though I still got some old Smack DVDs and Come Up DVDs. I wish I knew, and maybe I can figure out how to convert them over to put on here, because it's mad shit that's not online for real, especially from the DVD era. I don't know how it's not, or why nobody has done that, because Smack has put some stuff online, but maybe some stuff he's saving for the documentary they doing and all that shit. But it's like had mad DVDs for a long period of time, and not just Smack, the Come Up joints, the crack joints, the joints from Philly, Too Hot for the Streets. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know the DVD. You missed out on a whole time frame before this digital shit came in, when the DVD era was a mixture of interviews, music, videos in the interviews, and at the end of every one on the Smack joints and some of the Philly joints. Really, and I'm gonna say this, make a lot of motherfuckers mad. To be honest, to be 100% honest, Too Hot for the Streets was the first ones to do the battles. That just happens to be a fact. They was the first ones to do the battles. Smack DVDs was the first ones to highlight a mixture of what the DVD era was and put the battles at the end of it to highlight it. So a lot of people purchased them just for the battles. But Too Hot for the Streets really was about those up and coming battlers. Well, I can't even call them battlers from Philly, but those guys that was hungry trying to get a deal. That's what Too Hot from the Streets was about. But this freestyle by Chino XL was done on the radio station. Listen closely, you'll hear the things that he said about Mr. Tupac Shakur. Again, a lot of people forget, but all those rumors that y'all hear today, all the ones that people hear today about what happened to Pac in jail and so on and so on, they stem from, and started from one Chino XL. Anybody tell you any different, they're fucking lie. It was none of those rumors. It was none of those rumors before this beef between them two and these things were saying. We had never heard any of that shit before. Now, over years, people have added shit to it and all this other bullshit that shit happens as time go on and history go on. But it started from Chino XL. A lot of shit started from somebody saying stuff. It's no different than Eminem murdered you on your own shit. Before Nas said that, nobody said it. Before Nas said that on Ether, nobody said, you know what? Eminem had the better. No, Nas made everybody think about it, and then it became a thing. It became a thing. Ain't nobody gonna admit that's how it became a thing, but that's how it became a thing. But here the radio station freestyle from one Chino XL. And again, I encourage anybody that don't know who homie is, go do your Googles or put it in the search engine on YouTube. A few years ago, I think he was doing some interviews and some podcasts and shit. I think he might have had his own podcast. I can't remember, but I know he definitely was doing some interviews a little while ago before he passed. But here the first half of the freestyle. Let's get it.
Now I'm ill furiously till this whole world take me seriously. Curiously, get shot severe. I watch your career develop. Gas cause you survived 5 shots. Your vibe stops once I bring my lyrical onslaught. You walk around tough like that ass from in box talk. Once I start, it's critical. Niggas get touched and their eyes is turning black like I'm an angel from Bone Thugs video. All you hear is ambulance sirens and pot bisexual ass crying on Oprah like he Dennis Rodman. Nigga, you ain't never ever seen drama. You and your dope fiend mama. Niggas is shady. I shed your California blood and kill Brenda's baby. Get around these nuts, nigga, don't.
Hold on. I don't even mean to laugh, but for his time frame, like this nigga, you talk about some disrespectful shit. Like that nigga said, that nigga said, hold on, got it again. That nigga was, and that's the thing because I got my laughing over with. I gotta play that again though, but this time I'm gonna play it from the beginning. I just had to start it from the part that I actually like. Because Pac was the bigger name, a lot of people either never heard this or didn't pay it no mind or whatever it may be. Right. But you know, he put up a good fight. Even though I think Pac probably only mentioned him probably like once, maybe twice, maybe. But he put up a good fight. He had the flow of the times, and that's the shit that I be talking about, right? Before I actually play this, I want to bring this up because his style is the perfect opportunity to bring it up. That style that he's rapping in, that style that he's rapping in, was a style that was used for a long period of time in East Coast hip hop. And everybody forgets this. Like people, I wish I had one more example. People tend to remember history through a vague lens. Like we all us old motherfuckers like to say, how the best music was during this time frame. We excuse all the bullshit that was around. We also excuse that a lot of people was using a lot of the same patterns. A lot of the same patterns, a lot of the same structure, all that shit. We just act like that never happened. The special ones was original. The ones who separated themselves was, but if we're talking about patterns and flows, a lot of people, this flow and this pattern that y'all heard Chino Excel rapping with was a pattern that everybody was using. I could go to the and this is something that has traditionally happened in hip hop, and people act like this is not a thing. It happened during the inception of hip hop when everybody was doing when everybody was doing that shit and rapping some type of way, until MCs came out that changed and pushed the culture forward. KRS-One, Rakim, Slick Rick, until those group of MCs came out with a different type of flow where it wasn't a lot of yelling, it wasn't a lot of and all that shit. Then it went through another time period where people was using similar patterns and all that shit. Then you had motherfuckers like you had another group of motherfuckers that came out that pushed the culture forward again. You had your Wu-Tangs, your Biggies, your albums, Illmatic, which is one of the greatest albums of all time within hip hop. Helped change and evolve the culture, the push it forward. The people that separated themselves, they experimented with different patterns and flows and shit like that. Everybody else was doing similar patterns. Some of the same shit happened in the 2000s and shit like that. That's a whole conversation for a whole nother day. But it definitely happened because it's something that happens. It has traditionally happened since the inception. But people will end up using the same pattern because that's what's popping. The same thing with production and shit like that. We tend to forget these things and act like it never that. Oh no, that didn't. They didn't do that during my time. And we went to school without shoes on. It's just a dumbass. That's not none of that shit is true. And looking at the cloudy lens, like the fuck people be thinking about and talking about. Now, granted, I ain't gonna lie, used to be one of those people. Till I really started thinking about the time frame. It's a lot of trash. But anyway, let's get into this freestyle.
We had someone looking at us through the window. Why? The realness. Yeah, check it out. The realness. Check the realness. Yo, check it out. Check it out. Slow it down a little bit. Just a little bit. 1, 2. Yo, check it out. Check it out. In 1996, I get more death threats than Simon Rushdie. Brothers wanna rush me, they wanna hush me and silence me like Jimmy Hoffa. Since I flips like a convertible, hissing my billboard positions leaping vertical. Your tough guy image is faker than a surgical implant. So I speaks for myself like Teddy Pendergrass can't. Chino Excel and Kevin Keith, the new age is dawning. And I got nonchalant slinging crack 5 o'clock in the morning with raw styles that's let off like shots from Marvin Gaye's pops. Ain't no metaphors like the ones I got, haha. With perfect timing, I leave crowds jumping like Dennis Rodman on some NBA Jam. The nail in the coffin. Leaving Richard Bay feeling like, where do they find these people? Position fetal, stab you with a pen like Joe Pesci in Casino. So waiting to exhale. I got chickens waiting for XL. Till death do us all part like Howard Cosell. I'm scoping you through Molly Harvey Oswald viewfinder. Forget you and your pathfinder, co-sign it to me. Useless like any chicken with a soda vagina. Controversial symposiums I froze you in. Like young videos, heavy rotation on Nickelodeon. I'm having flashbacks. Like Marion Barry, cheap hotel room holes and vials of crack. Now whose style is that? Chino, ill as Liberace, Ace, full syringes. You couldn't be no star if you got thrown by Chinese ninjas. But you don't know me, when album couldn't tell ya. How many niggas pray that Chino is a failure? Still have lipstick on your back if Suge didn't bail ya. Break your glass door, leaving you singing like Mahalia. Approach this, watch the East Coast get sick and approach this. My grip tight like roach clip till I roast Tupac host. Promote this, shirt blood soaking, getting it open. Where you from anyway? LA, Oakland, Hoboken. I'm God manifested on earth. You out of bounds and wasn't no criminal carrying records for digital underground. You can't rhyme, better carry a tech. Chick you a marionette and I can see your strings. You can't offend me, do me any, many trendy. Use a little midget puppet nigga popping like Little Penny. Mike's nickel plated, sunbath, think
Oh boy, the second half of this freestyle is probably my favorite shit. But even in the first half, like the subtleties and even the way that he got into it. But again, that pattern was a infamous pattern, flow pattern that a lot of MCs used. That was 1996. Like, and this is it is important when we're talking about some of the greats and some of the greatest to know what the climate was, right? And this is not to take anything away from Chino XL because it doesn't take nothing away from his skill. It's just the pattern that a lot of people was rapping in. So if you don't understand the climate, you can't understand why the greats for the time period was considered the greats because they separated themselves. Like Big was big because he didn't rhyme in that rhyme pattern. Pac was Pac because he didn't rhyme in that rhyme pattern that was so popular for that day. Nas was Nas because he didn't rhyme in that rhyme pattern that was so popular for that day and time period. And even for 1996, to be honest, that flow pattern was a little outdated, even though a lot of artists were still rhyming in that rhyme pattern. Jay-Z was still that shit till 1996. Like, people always get mad when I say it, but Wu-Tang, into Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, Ready to Die, Illmatic, changed the climate. Changed the climate, and a lot of people came with out of that rhyme pattern that you hear Chino Giselle rapping in, that was so popular for the day. It forced a lot of people to try new things. You don't get the version of Jay-Z that you get in 1996 if not for those three albums. Just don't get that because he didn't change that rhyme pattern until 1996. But anyway, here goes the second part of that freestyle. Ow.
We had someone looking at us through the window. Why? The realness. Now I'm ill furiously till this whole world take me seriously. Curiously, get shot severe. I watch your career develop. Gas cause you survived 5 shots. Your vibe stops once I bring my lyrical onslaught. You walk around tough like that ass film in box talk. Once I start, it's critical. Niggas get touched and their eyes is turning black like I'm an angel from Bone Thugs video. All you hear is ambulance sirens and pot bisexual ass crying on Oprah like he Dennis Rodman. Nigga, you ain't never ever seen drama. You and your dope fiend mama. Niggas is shady. I shed your California blood and kill Brenda's baby. Get around these nuts, nigga, don't play me. Recognize my face from tying that ass in the back of a Mercedes that's fully laced like Madonna wardrobe in the 80s. Feeling lyrically provocative. Apocalypse and battling me is a preposterous. Wrapping my yellow hands around your esophagus till your face turns purple like it was leaky leak. A nigga with one ball shouldn't speak. I grab my crotch when I see Tupac. We need police protection. I'm blacking out like Martin Lawrence inside of an intersection. I tried to warn niggas. Tupac is country is them hay in the middle of the bar niggas.
Still one of the best. Oh boy, boy. But again, that rhyme pattern. I got the wrong shit going on bottom of the screen. Hold the fuck up. Let's go to this one. Again, RIP to Chino XL, right? But yet again, that rhyme pattern, like that's what's important about understanding the climate. So even today, or a few years ago, when the mumble rap was the pattern of use, which is the double flow pattern, which is old. The double time pattern is old. It's a pattern from the the late 80s, early 90s. Wasn't nothing new. It was old. Daz Effects used it. Leaders of the new school used it. De La Soul, so on and so on and so on. I can go over mad artists that use the double time flow. My point is that while that was popular for a time, the MCs who separated themselves, even during that era, each era is always a pattern that becomes popular, but the people out of that we end up calling or saying great are the ones that's not doing what everybody else is doing. In each era, this has happened from the inception of the culture, from back when they was yelling and screaming and saying, huh, after every fucking verse. Everybody did that. Let's not act like everybody didn't go, huh, except for LL Cool J. But everybody from his era, and he was the youngest, went after every verse until the next crop of MCs came. Then that changed, and it kind of pushed those guys out of the way. But that changed. And then another pattern became popular. Then a group of guys separated themselves and took other chances when it came to flows and patterns and shit like that. Like nobody has AZ pattern. Like AZ rhyme pattern is crazy. It's wild. Big Pun pattern was wild. Nobody has that pattern. Tretch from Naughty by Nature. For those that don't know, Tretch from Naughty by Nature gets busy. Like gets busy. So when Eminem names Tretch as one of his inspirations, one of his greatest rappers, and can rap line for line, yoke the Joker. Do yourself a favor. Anybody listening to this now or listen to this later, go type in Naughty by Nature, Yoke the Joker. Because you might have never heard this song if you didn't have the album and all you know is OPP and Hip Hop Parade and all that shit. People, if you never had the album, then you don't know how great Tretch is. Back then, the artists made songs for the radio, and then they had album shits where they showed their skills. Like the rhyme patterns that Tretch does in Yoke the Joker is so fucking ridiculous that I don't know too many MCs that could even mimic that shit. Outside of the one who did, and that was M. He can rap that shit word for word, backwards and forwards, similar with DOC. A lot of the patterns that DOC use, oh my God. Even though he ain't had that many projects, he's still, like, you go back and listen to some of that shit, the way he put that shit together, the way his rhyme pattern was, it's nothing, nobody, or nothing like that. But again, a lot of the other people was rhyming in the same pattern, and the patterns that was popular for the time frame. And this has happened traditionally through each era. And again, none of that was to take anything away from Chino XL. It was just I figure I use it to make a point. And yet again, those rumors that everybody still hear till this day about what happened to Tupac in jail and the gay rumors and the bisexual rumors, all that shit started because of Chino XL. He was the one who did that. He was the one who spawned that shit. And that just happens to be a fact. Anyway, RP to Chino XL. Do yourselves a favor. Do y'all due diligence. Listen to some of his music. See how great he was. But yet again, do not forget that a lot of those flows and patterns that you're going to hear him use was ones that was popular for the time. So a lot of times when we hear of when there's these MCs that we be wondering why, damn, I wonder why he ain't get a chance to da 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 da. And some of that is because they didn't separate themselves. Kendrick, Cole, Kanye, and those guys that separated themselves during an era when everybody was saying that everybody was rapping the same. Similar, similar in every single era of the culture, similar things have happened. Similar things have happened. This is nothing new. Like we literally had fucking MC Brains, Uchi Uchi La La La. We had this nigga in the 90s. While we be acting like it was no whack shit in the 90s, we had MC Brains. Maybe y'all might not remember MC Brains. But could go type in MC Brains. Uchi Uchi La La La. I am the brains and I'm up the ball. This was trash. And it was a top 100 hit that he was able to perform and make money off of for a long period of time. I think he's still around. He do like independent films or some shit like that. He got an Instagram. He fuck around, got a podcast. So they try to highlight. I say all that again to say it ain't been as much as we like to act like things were so much different. It really wasn't. It's a lot of similarities in each era when it comes to what was popular and then how people separated themselves. Anyway, I'm gonna drop this intro and then we get into the latest of the dirty sector or the dark side or urban sector, which I kind of like lean more towards urban, I guess, than all those other names, and get into the latest of that going on between Math and Hassan. Um, and then we're gonna get the fuck up out of here after we play this. Check this out.
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word.
You're watching Generation X Radio with your host, Street Knowledge.
Coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once.
So Math responded to the rumors about the video of his alleged altercation with his now uh, person, a woman, Hassan, saying that the confines of this video is egregious and comparing it to Diddy and da. And anybody could have it for the measly price of $2,000. I question y'all in my community tab. Should we purchase said material? And it was kind of split down the middle. Math, not really understanding how this thing works in these small environments on YouTube, proceeded to do what he shouldn't have done. And that is present him and his girl, present it as, oh yeah, I know about that, but this is what that is. No. Should have never. No, no. If you're gonna play, right? If you're gonna play, if you really gonna play the game, then you can't play the game like that. Because at this point, ain't never really got a the footage ain't never got to surface at this point. It never has to surface. You acknowledge that you know about it, you know where it came from. But oh no, it's not what he's saying is on there. We was just playing. We was just play fighting. Even if that's the truth. even if that's the truth, my nigga. The people who already don't believe that shit don't care about the truth. All you did was give support in some form of truth to what he said. And maybe that's why you didn't leave the video up. Maybe you realized that after the fact. But at this point, go back, go sit your ass back in that barber chair and leave this shit alone. You want to fuck up your platform. Because once they drag you into that shit, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. You talk about morals and all that shit like this niggas. That's not how this game. That's not how the game is played. You thought your girl was gonna be off limits, huh? You thought your girl was gonna be off limits? Is this what you really thought? You thought your girl was gonna be off limits in a situation where technically you kind of indirectly poured her into because she's back there being the producer, playing the music and playing the clips. You thought she was gonna be off limits? Like, huh? You just pay attention to the way this thing works. You know, my people who are not even as big as you are platform wise, significant others have been doxxed, former significant others, and all this other shit, personal information and been put out there, lied on, all kinds of shit. Somehow you thought you was exempt from that shit. Somehow you thought it's not going to happen to you. Somehow you thought they was going to play different. No, nigga. You can play the game all you want with your morals involved. You can't expect for them motherfuckers to have no morals. This is the exact reason why I don't engage. And really have always just like stood down. There's been situations that I have, kind of brought on myself over the years, not understanding and not knowing. But after you're around this shit for a while, you know how it worked, and it is what it is. But you never been through anything like that. You didn't come up in the game and starred the way most of us start. Because you already had a little name, whatever. You didn't have to start from a certain level where you had to deal with a lot of that stuff. You got there first, and then now you're dealing with it only because your numbers going down a little bit. But those things happen. It comes in cycles. You go sit your ass back in that barbershop and talk about some other shit. Doing that and fucking around with those small sectors around here, nah, it's gonna get you all fucked up. You're gonna destroy your whole platform. They're gonna kill all that shit. People start to believe something is worth it based on the size of the platform that they got, that they going back and forth with. Not worth any of that. You think, see, this is how people fuck shit up, right? certain caliber of guests now at this point is not going to want to sit down on your show, possibly. Like, certain artists of a certain caliber, they go to Google and look up your show, and now attached to it is this situation with Hassan Campbell. So now it becomes, what the fuck? Well, like, what type of show? Well, like, what the fuck you got going on here? When it's situation after situation, the co-host shit is one thing, because that's steam, and that's something that you can actually control from your end. You can have reason for that. You can have reason for a response. But when it comes to dealing and having these situations with these other platforms, there's absolutely no reason for you. That's like Vlad getting involved in it. Like, come on, come on. It doesn't make sense. Taint your platform. Get out while you can. That's probably what should have happened if you wasn't going to put it on him. But admitting that the shit exists and you know where it came from is wild. And the fact that you think that these people going to believe, oh no, it you trying to turn that into that? No, it wasn't that. No, he never has to produce the video. And even if he does produce it, he already gave the lens to look at it through. And that's why you shouldn't. You should have put it back on him if you was gonna play. Should have put it back on him. Okay, so you got it. Put it out there. After it's out, then you can attempt to control the narrative. Then you can say, "Oh no, take a look at this. This is what this really is." But for what you just done, it ain't never got to be produced. All he has to go is, see, I told y'all. Y'all thought I was lying, but see, I told y'all. That's all you gotta do. But that just comes from lack of experience. I think y'all always talking about this chess shit. Y'all always you're always comparing these plays and these formulas to chess. The difference is the game of chess is just that, a fucking game. Those pieces don't have no feelings involved. That pawn that you just moved ain't in need for nothing. Is not alive. So when you use humans as pawns or as shields or as this or as that, it's always a chance that because they have feelings and vulnerabilities that they can give information to your opponent. So using the term chess for these instances and these games are the wrong, it's the wrong analogy to use. Because you can just freely move pieces on the chessboard without worrying about their little feelings. They don't have any. But when you're talking about actual human beings that you might think that you're using as pawns, they got feelings, they got bills, they got past, they got shit that they need to get done. And a lot of times will be willing to take an offer to give somebody some information on you, especially when you have confided in those pawns or those rooks or whoever the fuck that you using to play this game of chess that all of y'all like to say that y'all playing. Fuck out of here. Wrong analogy. Find another game to pick, but it definitely ain't chess. It's like I said at the beginning of this. those pieces don't have no fucking feelings, don't have no bills, don't have any of that shit. And this is how so many people get themselves caught up in situations like this, so-called playing chess. Because when you looking at people like these pieces that's on the chessboard, that's not in need of something, that's not going through something, and especially the fact that you're not taking care of them as the so-called king or queen, and you're not providing for them, you're not taking care of them, you're not making sure that they're fed, that they don't want for nothing, somebody else will. If you think that they just supposed to do this shit because they look, you crazy. Why would they owe you any loyalty when you looking at them like a piece on a chessboard? Anyway, that's my motherfucking 2 cents. I catch y'all next time. Be easy, alright?
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word. Word.